happens all the time where the founder, they build the product, they can sell the product, they figured out how to kind of force their way through and make it happen, but when they hire a team, that team can't sell nearly as well. The reason this happens is because of 4 major mistakes that they're making in that handoff. There's 4 things that kill the ability to hand this off and get somebody else to sell just as well as you. If you're in that situation where you can sell, but you've tried to hire salespeople and they're not selling, watch this. I'm going to walk you through what these 4 mistakes are and what you should do instead. Hey, I'm Matt Wolach. I help software leaders understand how to generate a whole ton of leads, close those leads, make sure you can get deals done, and scale a team so that they can do all that for you and you can reach your wildest dreams. If you want any of those things, definitely hit the subscribe button right now and that little bell. You'll get notified about all of my tips and tactics and formulas so that you can scale effectively. Do that right now and you'll be good to go. You'll get everything you need. And today we're going to talk about that last piece of it. How do you get that transition to happen from a founder selling, and maybe they're doing pretty well, to now somebody else has to come in and do it. And it happens all the time where right there breaks. And I call this a brick wall because so many times we're moving along, we're growing our company, we decide to scale, we decide to hire some salespeople, and all of a sudden, it's done. It doesn't work. And there's reasons for that. And the reasons are fixable. And that's a good thing. So we're going to go through these 4 things of what you can do to fix. The number 1 thing that's a big problem is this founder, they've been building up this company. They've been doing it just by flying by the seat of their pants, figuring things out as it happens. Very entrepreneurial mindset. But then all of a sudden when they hand it off, this person, they don't understand exactly what to do. Even if they have experience within sales, even if they have software sales experience, they probably don't understand exactly the steps to follow. And so the biggest mistake that is made is that the founder hasn't created a repeatable process. It's not something that can be repeated by somebody else. It's something that they are doing, but they have that knowledge, that history to understand kind of what's gone on and what's happened in the previous years or weeks or months in building this product. They've seen that history to know how to handle certain situations. But even an experienced salesperson hasn't had that history within that company or even within the industry to understand what to do. And so having a lack of a process is killing that transition. What do? Let's make sure we have a defined, scalable, and repeatable sales process. You've got to make sure that you know exactly what's going to happen at each stage. It's outlined, it's diagrammed, it's process mapped, so that somebody new can come in and pick it up right from where you left off, and they can start closing just as well as you. If we don't have that process in place, big problems. It's going to be really hard to get somebody else to follow in that path. A lot of founders think, okay, if I was able to sell a little bit, some expert salesperson can come in and sell a lot, right? Wrong. They actually usually will sell worse if you don't have that process ironed out. So get the process nailed. That's problem number 1. Okay, number 2 is, well, I told you about the history, and that history is a big part of number 2. The history of talking with prospects, talking with customers, learning what they like, what they don't like, and then seeing that experience of bringing them on board, working with them, seeing what they like and don't like about the product, seeing the good stuff that's happened. All of that, the founder can usually turn into stories, and stories sell. Stories sell like crazy. If you're not telling stories within your sales process, start doing it right now. If you're not telling customer success stories now, start doing it, because great stories about successes that customers have had is an awesome way to increase close rates. But the problem is the founder knows those stories. They've experienced that. They've seen it happen. The sales rep, on the other hand, has never seen that. They don't know what that is. They don't know any of the stories. And so many times when teams bring me in, I ask a founder, tell me a story about a great customer success. And they share a story. And I ask a sales rep, have you heard that before? And they say no. And it's nobody's fault. It's just that the founder didn't get that stuff out of their head and share it with the rest of their team. So we've got to make sure we outline the best customer success stories, have several of them so that you can use them in any particular situation based on geography, based on the issue that the prospect's having. You want to line it up with whatever's going on with your current prospect. And if you can get your team to understand those stories, they're going to do really, really well. So number 2, don't forget to pass down those stories that the founder has learned. Okay, the third reason why you're not able to hand things off from the founder to a sales team is because oftentimes after you've made that handoff, you see that the salesperson isn't doing as well. They're not closing as well. So what happens? The founder becomes a crutch. They jump in. They don't want to lose the deals. And if you're not wanting to lose the deal, you want to jump in and help out. Well, let me just kind of be on that call with you, or let me do this, or let me make sure I help with that. And what happens is you become a crutch. That sales rep can never grow. They still have training wheels on for their entire life. And with those training wheels on their bike, they're never going to learn how to actually stand up and ride themselves. We've got to take the training wheels off. They need to sink or swim. And I know it hurts to have opportunities that might be great opportunities. But if you've done the right thing and set up the process like I talked to you about in number 1, if you've made sure they understand the customer success stories they should be telling, then it's time to take the training wheels off. Make sure that they can do this. And if they can't, let's either train them to get up to speed or let's get rid of them. But give them that chance. Give them the opportunity to succeed with all of the knowledge that you have as a founder. So number 3 is don't be a crutch. Don't jump in and help out with everything. Make them learn through that experience of having those conversations. And you can do this really, really easily, but do not jump in. Do not help them out once they get to that level of fully trained. That's 3 down, 1 more. By the way, if you like this so far, definitely hit like right now. That'll tell me this is good stuff. It'll also show other people this can be helpful for them as well. So you're doing a good service for everybody. And if you have any questions about this, or if you have any thoughts about other things I should be training, hit that up in the comments down below. I'll be seeing those, I'll be answering those, and helping you out there. All right, number 4, the reason why we can't pass off the great sales from a founder to a new salesperson is usually because we're not holding that person accountable. If we don't hold our teams accountable, then they're not going to be able to have the motivation to strive to get to perfection. Now, we're not going to reach perfection, but striving for it is always great. And of course, when we bring in a new sales rep, we feel bad that they're new and they don't know this or that, and so we kind of go easy on them. We go light. And that's okay, but at some point, we need to set some accountability, meaning, hey, if you're going to be a closing rep, I want some final numbers, meaning revenue numbers or number of closes. I lean towards revenue. That's what's most important. You might lean towards number of closes. Either way, that's a final indicator of what we need. So we need revenue or number of sales. And then from there, we need leading indicators. If they're going to get this many sales, how many demos do they have to do? If they're going to get this many demos, how many discovery calls do they have to do? If they're going to get this many discovery calls, how many calls outbound do they have to make to set up those discovery calls? So whatever you have as part of your process, let's set up those leading indicator metrics and goals. And then we can tell them, hey, you need to have this many every month. You need to have that many of this every month. Whatever it is, give them those goals and help them buy into it. Don't just throw out something outlandish because the team won't be bought in. That'll be demotivating. Make sure you get them goals that they believe in, that they think they can get to. And once they do believe in it and they confirm they believe in it, hold them to it. Hold them accountable. If they're not reaching those goals, why? If they don't do it over and over, put them on a personal improvement plan. That's called a PIP. When you put them on a PIP, it's basically saying, hey, if you can't do it this next month, it's over. And that way you get rid of them. By the way, when you get rid of a salesperson who's underperforming, guess what? Those other salespeople perform better. Because not only do they know there's accountability, but also they have hope, knowing that you're getting rid of the bad one. The other team, they can see who's bad. They know it. And so if you show them we're not going to stand for that, they feel better about that. They like that because it means their hard work is paying off. Okay? So it's totally okay. You have to hold them accountable, give them the metrics, and get them to get to those metrics. And if they can't, got to find another way. So those are the 4 things that people are not doing when they try to hand off from a founder to a salesperson. It's a very difficult transition, but if you can do these things and not do the mistakes that we talked about, you're going to have a great transition. By the way, if you want to make sure how to sell, I talked to you about process in the number 1. I outline a process, our perfect deal process, in my mini course. It's called Software Demo Secrets. And it walks you through exactly how to run the perfect deal process so that you can take it from the founder and have somebody else pick it up really quickly and easily. If you want that mini course and want that walkthrough so you know you can make this transition, just grab that. Right down in the description, you'll see the link for Software Demo Secrets. Grab that course, and that way you'll know how to have the right process that is scalable and repeatable so that you can grow your team and get to those amazing goals. All right, that's it for this week. Again, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. I've got a couple awesome things coming up in the next couple of weeks. If you want to grow your company, make sure you stick around and grab that subscription so you'll see those things. Great. Take care. See you next time.